Welcome to Ambi Airsoft TV in association with TaiwanGun.com. In this episode, we're going to be looking at and testing the CM.041G from Cyma. This is a modernised replica of the famous H&K MP5 submachine gun. Keep watching to find out more about it and just how well it performs. TaiwanGun.com have sent me this Cyma CM.041G upgraded version to review for their channel. These replicas come ready for close range action with a velocity of around 350 FPS with a 0.2 gram BB or about 1.1 joules. Like the high speed model we've previously tested on AATV, it also has gearbox internals of a quality to match much more expensive replicas. These include a reinforced version 2 gearbox shell, a full steel rack polycarbonate piston, CNC machined 13:1 ratio steel gear set, a CNC machined aluminium silent cylinder and bearing piston head set, a ball bearing spring guide. This one has a flat bladed trigger and a high speed motor. The hop unit is the same as used on the high speed model, and the barrel is a brass 6.03mm tight bore. There are several different models available at TaiwanGun.com that use the same gearbox and have a similar styling and features. You can take a look at the whole range here. So let's take a look at what you get in the box. The replica itself, a mid-capacity magazine. This takes around 130 BBs, a small manual and TaiwanGun.com test certificate. A cleaning rod, a small Allen key. The replica is made mostly from alloy die castings, aluminium extrusions and nylon injection mouldings. The metal parts include the flash hider, outer barrel, handguard, front sight block, cocking tube lever, upper receiver, top rail, most of the PDW stock, the magazine well and the stock rails. The polymer parts include the stock butt plate, pistol grip and barrel receiver and the fire controls. So let's have a look at the features of the CM.041G and compare it to the high-speed version we've previously reviewed. As before, when you first take it out of the box, the first thing that comes to mind is the sturdy construction. It weighs nearly 3.5 kilograms. It's heavier than the high-speed version due to the modern updates. However, it's still nicely balanced and sits well in the hand and shoulder. Starting from the muzzle end, both Cymas have a large flash hider. This can easily be removed by sliding this leader up and away, rotating it 60 degrees and sliding it off. This reveals the classic HK style tri-lug muzzle and a thread protector. The thread protector unscrews in a clockwise direction and reveals a standard Airsoft 14mm counterclockwise thread. This allows you to use suppressor and tracer units of your choice. Coming back, we find the front sight block and sling point. The front sight is protected by this full hood and is easy to pick up and use. The cocking lever is different to the more traditional type on the high speed, but operates in the same way. It can be moved and locked back into this recess to open the ejection port. This reveals the hop-up adjustment lever. This can be moved with a finger, or you may find it easier to use a small Allen key like the one supplied. To add hop, slide it towards the back, and to reduce hop, slide it to the front. Always tempting to do the HK slap with an MP5. However, you should really release it gently to avoid any long-term damage. The handguard is a big departure from the polymer version on the high speed. It's rigidly fixed to the replica and features M-lock slots for mounting accessories. The vertical grip also comes with the replica and can be moved to suit your personal preferences. It also has a small storage compartment for spare batteries. As we said earlier, the CM.041G comes with a 130 BB mid-cap. This is a cool new type with a window showing realistic looking cartridge casings. It has a grippy texture, making it easy to handle with gloved hands or when it's wet outside. You can also use the normal MP5 magazines as supplied with the high-speed version, and you can purchase more of these from TaiwanGun.com, or if you prefer, there are other mid and high caps available there too. The magazine is inserted into the magwell here until you hear a click. To remove it, there's a new ergonomic magazine release that's easy to reach with the trigger finger or with the thumb of the support hand. In addition, you can use the button here on the side. On the magwell is a unique serial number. The CM.041G has an extended rail already attached to the top of the receiver for all your optic needs. The front of the top rail has additional M-lock slots if you need them. The lower receiver is made of a tough polymer and is of the navy style with the bullet pictograms. It's the same low receiver as used on the high-speed version. The fire selector is ambidextrous and has safe, semi and full auto fire modes. If you don't want to use an optic, then on top of the upper receiver is the same HK style diopter rotating drum rear sight that you'll find on the high-speed MP5. The drum has 4 positions with holes of various sizes. The rear sight can also be adjusted for windage by loosening this screw here and sliding from side to side. The last new component is the PDW style sliding stock. This is very different to the type on the more traditional high-speed version, and also it includes the battery compartment. It has 6 positions which can be changed by pressing in this latch here and pulling. Mounted to the back of the receiver cap is the rear sling loop. To get to the battery compartment, you first need to remove the stock. To do that, you press both the large and the small latch in like this and slide the stock out. There you'll find the Dean's type battery connector. You'll need to use a small LiPo battery, slide it in and connect up the connector. The MOSFET will beep and let you know it's ready to go, and then screw the cap on. To replace the stock, push in the small latch and now you're good to go. Now we've been through the features of the CM.041G, let's put it through some tests in the AATV lockdown lab. Okay, so we're back in the AATV lockdown lab. UK still in lockdown, so we're going to repeat our 10 metre accuracy test with the Cyma. I've got BLS 0.25 gram precision BBs, and we're going to go hot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so with the 0.25 gram BLS BB, we've got a 100mm group. Let's move on to 0.28s. Okay, so on with the test. I've got 0.28 gram BLS precision BBs. And let's get on with it. Okay, and with a 0.28 gram, the group size has already gone down to 60mm, which is quite an improvement. Range is hot. It just sounds cool, doesn't it? Okay, so the 0.32 gram group, a bit interesting. We had one possible flyer over here, and if we measure that one, the group size is 70. If we take this main concentration, where all the BBs seem to be landing, we've got about a 40mm group. But if we compare that to our original group, 0.25 gram BBs, which was 100, even with the flyer it was better, and if we discount the flyer, we've more than doubled the accuracy just by changing the BB as normal. Now these are also a lower group than the 0.25, which suggests to me that the hop is struggling just a little bit. So on these results, I would probably go with the middle one, which is the 0.28 gram BB, which will probably be the best combination of range and accuracy. Okay, so we're going to do a quick internal review on the Cyma CM.041G. These are pretty easy to get into, so no problems at all. First things first, we need to take the stock off. Gives you access to this pin. Once the pin's out, and just gently take this off. Be careful because you've got the wires inside here, and that's the whole unit there. Pretty much solid alloy. Screw in the back here, take that out. So take this screw out here, bit of pressure, and you can take the mock recoil spring and the fake bolt out. Next thing to do is take this pin out. And then the whole gearbox assembly comes off, so it's super easy. So we can also take the hop up barrel out. So, as is normal with these Cymas now, you've got a decent precision barrel, nice tight crown, very tidy, and looking through it, looks pretty clean inside too. This is the lever you see inside the ejection port. When it's back, you have more hop, and when it's forward, you have less hop. So the next thing to do is to take the motor base plate off. As always, make sure your tool fits the screw head really well. We don't want to strip these out. So we have one up the front and one up the back. Red's at the back, black's at the front. This is our motor. Nice and stiff. And you've got two screws inside the pistol grip which hold the gearbox into the low receiver. Small grub screw here which runs through the gearbox, so we need to take the fire selector off. So careful not to lose that. It is captive, so you're not going to lose a detent. This is what creates the clicks here. That's captive behind this plate, which is a nice touch. There we go. This is the fire selector bit, which will fall out. Again, don't lose that. It's been lubed, you can see, which is good. Reduce a bit of friction. Okay, so this is the high speed with its conventional trigger. This is the flat trigger. So let's have a look at what we've got. Casting looks pretty good. Bit of reinforcing around here. Bearing spring guide. Standard nozzle. And lube on the tappet plate, nice light lube. It's got a full steel rack polycarbonate piston, and the second to last tooth has been cut down. Aluminium silent piston head, and the CNC machined aluminium cylinder head. Very smooth cylinder. Good compression. And good compression with the nozzle on as well. Excellent. Double O-ring CNC piston head. The pad. Cylinders good. As always, these are really lovely. Always been very impressed with these Cyma PLATINUM CNC sector gear. Lots of nice lube, lots of lube. Bevel gear. 1, 2, 3, 4 anti-reversal latch positions. Right, so let's check the shimming. Okay. Shimming is excellent. Okay, let's have some final thoughts on the Cyma CM.041G. I've been thoroughly impressed with this replica. It's performed really well. It's very, very crisp. The trigger response is almost instantaneous. As always with these new Cymas, some really nice gearbox parts. Of note, it's always the piston head and the cylinder head. Obviously we have the MOSFET in here, which contributes to the trigger response. We've got a good stiff motor, bearings, bearing spring guide. Excellent. If you're looking for sheer rate of fire, the high-speed version will shoot faster. However, this version has a better trigger response. So if you're looking for responsiveness in semi-automatic, this one. If you're looking for extreme rates of fire, maybe the high-speed. They do shoot slightly lower power, and this one has the more modern styling, so really it's up to you. I've been thoroughly impressed with this gun. I hope you enjoyed this review and overview of the Cyma CM.041G. We think it's a great performing modern version of the classic MP5, perfect for anyone wanting to do a modern counter-terrorist loadout. If you want to see more from me, then check out my other reviews on the TaiwanGun.com YouTube channel, or head over to Anvil Airsoft TV. There you'll find well over 100 videos on a huge range of subjects. Thanks to TaiwanGun.com for making this review possible. Most importantly, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.